Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for tuning in to Stumblin Forward. I'm one of your hosts, Monica Ortega.
And I'm Kristen Herman.
And on today's show, we're featuring Jeannette Ceja, who's a bilingual travel journalist, TV host, travel advisor, and a global public speaker based in Beverly Hills. She combined her love for travel and over 10 years of media experience into an internationally recognized company known as Jet Set with Jeannette. Hey Jeannette, thanks for being on the show.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my goodness.
To
All
start
right.
off with, I just love the name, Jeannette.
Thank
That's
you.
just so good.
Swing off the tongue like very nicely.
It does. And it's
So
fun
catchy.
to say. That's all.
I rebranded and reshifted everything about 2 or 3 years ago because prior to that, I was Jeanette Reports. And how boring is Jeanette Reports? And one of my best friends of 15 years, we were sitting down and we were just thinking of like new names because I was like, this is boring. And literally I had to give her credit. Her name is Isabel, because she was like, what about Jet Set Jeanette? And I was like, yes. But I added the with. So I can't say that was, my part. So, but literally once I rebranded Jet Set with Jeanette, it's like literally everything took off with it. And, it's really funny because I knew I made it when I was at an event or somebody was talking about me in the third person, like, oh, I had dinner with Jet Set Jeanette last week. And I was like, yay!
It's so good. It's so catchy. All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started, all that good stuff.
Well, my journey, it's really interesting because my journey in the whole travel sphere started as a baby. My parents are from Mexico and they moved to California in the 1980s. And at that time, the wave was so low, immigration wave from Mexico, because it was, the economy was so much better then. But so they came to Orange County and I was born there. And my siblings were born there, but we'd always go back to Mexico. So I had my passport about 6 months old. I was like a roly-poly. And yeah, and then growing up, my parents would just like leave us there in the summer. They're like, hey kids, we're gonna just, leave you with your grandparents and bond and immerse. And I actually really appreciate it now because, my grandparents, they were younger and healthier and they were able to take us out to get to know Mexico City. My grandfather had a home 2 hours away in the country next to a volcano that was definitely active still. And I got to learn more about my other culture in Mexico, which is so beautiful.
What an
That's
amazing
so awesome.
experience.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had that. As we've talked about, I'm a coconut. I'm brown on the outside and white on the inside because I know nothing about my Mexican culture, so I need to know that. So good on your parents for doing that. All right, so then how did the Jet Set with Jeanette thing, or Jeanette Reports, or how did that come about?
Right. So then growing up, I would be glued to the television because I feel like I'm a sponge. I just want to learn about as much as I can. I've always been curious. So I'd watch all these travel shows, including Samantha Brown, who's still doing it in her, like, to this day, how, with her kids. I know, I saw that. I have the same one. So I'd watch her and she'd be like, we're in Greece. And I'd be like, oh my God, Greece looks amazing. I'd be like, I want to do that. And I would see Anthony Bourdain. I'd see all these amazing people. But then I would turn on to like CNN and I would see like, Christiana Amanpour, who was a woman reporting the news like from, all over the world. And I was like, I think I want to do like that and that. I didn't really understand, but anyways, that's how the seed was planted. And I would read the newspaper at dinner to my family. They were so annoyed, but I'd read it to them anyways. I'd be like, today, this and this happened. They'd be like, okay, Jeanette, act interested. And I just feel like I've always been that messenger. I'm always want to share information. I'm a naturally born communicator. So growing up, I saw the link between travel and communication. And when I was 12, I started my first travel journal. When I'd go to Mexico, I'd take my journal. When I went to Europe for the first time, I was 12 years old. It was my grandmother's last wish. It was to see the Vatican because she was diabetic and they were going to have dialysis, and the odds of surviving after dialysis were not too high at that time. So she told my mother, she's like, my one thing I want to do is go to the Vatican, because my grandmother was the most Catholic person I've ever met in my life. She had a rosary at all times. And if you were in Mexico in her home, like, you were praying the rosary at some point. So for her, that was her dream. And my mother, when I was 12, she got a travel agent. She said, I don't know, just take us to the Vatican, make sure like we do it. And so she did. And my mother came into my room. I was 12, and she was like, kids, we're going to Europe, pack your bags. And I was like, I don't want to go to Europe. I want to play with my friends. Like, I was really immature. I didn't understand, you know? And my mother, you know, amazing mother that she is, she was like, oh, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. And if you don't want to pack, I'll pack for you, and you'll just wear whatever I pack. And I was like, oh, damn, okay, fine. And, you know, I packed my stuff. And when I went to Europe, we did the whole 2 week in a bus, you know, with like 100 people tour. And we went to London, went to Paris, we went to Rome. But when we went to Rome, I'll never forget this. And this is why travel is so meaningful to me to this day. When we went to Rome, the bus, everybody was getting off, and my grandmother, the Vatican, you could see about, you know, I don't know, 100, 200 feet away. And she literally got down on her knees and started to cry and to pray and cry. And we are just watching her, like, having this out-of-body experience moment, and her dream was coming true. And so then we all started to cry. We're like, oh my God, like, because that is the beauty that travel can do to you. And that is priceless. And that is why I was like, whatever is happening, I want to do this. I want to dedicate my life to this. I want other people to experience this. So I've known, like, my entire life what purpose was and is. And now it's still the same, like, to unite people through travel. To this day, it's always stayed the same. But the journey to get there was definitely not easy. It was not linear. It was not like the straight line. Like, it was like the squiggly line, like succeed, fail, succeed, fail, succeed, fail, succeed, fail. But the purpose and the why was always the same. Always the same. So I think that's why I have gotten to where I am today, because that has been the focus the entire time. But I ended up going to college for journalism. My student advisor, he also was my mentor. He was the travel editor for the statewide newspaper. So that was really good, because he was able to help me format my classes and internships. And I mean, he was such a great mentor for me. So that kind of helped me when, you know, I was like, I want to do this. And so he was like, okay, you want to be a travel journalist? And before that, I didn't even know what it meant, but that's what I wanted to do. And yeah, I spoke at his class before he passed away years ago. And he was so amazing professor. He always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. And then, yeah, and then you know, my first job out of college was at that same newspaper, the Tennessean. But then I was like, I'm gonna move back to California. So I packed my things. I turned down my other job offer, which was to be a news reporter for the local TV station in Fargo, North Dakota. And nothing against Fargo, North Dakota. I've never been there. I can't say anything negative, but they were like, you know what, we'll offer you, I think it was like $15,000 a year. You'll report for the radio station and the TV station. And I was like, should I take it? I understood that in order to move up in the market in the news, you had to work, you know, the smaller markets, and you had to pay your dues. And that's what I've been told my whole life. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to pass. I'm going to move back to California, and I'm going to go with the goal to do this travel show, which has always been my goal, like always. But yeah, I'm sorry, I keep talking.
No, that's the point. This is just like to break down your story, to honestly, like, what an emotional start just to be with your grandmother, like, in Europe like that, and just to have that launch off into going into journalism, like, that's amazing. And then I think that that would be the hardest thing, to just like turn down a career opportunity that at the time might be like, maybe this is it, you know, but then knowing for sure, you're like, okay, I'm going to trust my path and go back and focus on travel. Like
I think that's such a good point too, that even if you know the path and you're choosing the path and you're sticking with it, it doesn't mean that there's not big forks in the road and big decisions. And like you said, failure, success. So, you know, that in itself is a huge point, because we all come to those forks and then really listening to your gut and choosing what you knew you wanted to do. So
like any big like failures that you feel like you have that you would have done differently or tell someone to do differently in that sense?
So good. Like, how much time do we have?
Pick the key points.
I would say I took a lot of jobs throughout the journey. Like, I turned down jobs, and I took a lot of jobs that weren't necessarily in travel. Like, it was in sports, which I'm grateful for. Sports is not like my real purpose. In finance, I even did a stint at Playboy in the media production part. Okay.
What? Wait, where are the pictures?
My eyeballs like pop up. I'm like,
that's the promo picture we're using, by the way.
calm down, guys, calm down. It was just like a temporary thing in transition, which I'm grateful for. But it's funny because when you tell like guys that, like, wherever you've worked, like, oh yeah, I think I remember seeing you. I'm like, yeah, I was Miss October 2016. And they're like, yeah, no wonder you look familiar. And I'm
oh my God.
They're so like easily like, I'm like, no, dude, like I never. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, I would say I didn't believe in my dream or myself enough. And so I would take all these jobs that were stable and that, you know, was safe. And I did it literally until like 2 or 3 years ago when I went completely 100% the entrepreneurial route. And I waited so long, like 15 years, because I knew my purpose and my heart and everything, but I didn't know how it could happen. I was like, you know, I don't know how to do this. So like because a lot of the people in the travel industry, and Monica, you'll know especially, like the, you know, Rick Steves or Samantha Browns or Bourdains or whoever is in that sphere, they were like, they have put in so much time to get to where they are and then where they were, that I was like, I'm just a newbie out of college. What am I going to show? Like, how am I going to, you know what I mean? So,
well, it was also a different world when they started, because it was an audition process and then you got picked. Because Samantha Brown, she just started in like entertainment, went in for an audition for this, and travel came in because she got cast as the host. So it's a different world.
very different world. And now this day we live in an even more different world with internet, social media, etc. But I didn't believe in myself enough, and I didn't love myself enough. And this is why something in the survey included is like, one of my biggest failures was not doing the self-development, the mindset work earlier, because my gosh, where I am now, like over 2 or so years, I've begun coaching, I've begun therapy, I've begun like doing affirmations, doing vision boards, really believing, like shifting and rewiring, you know, my mindset, and self-love. Like I could truly say that like I love myself more today, May 22nd, 2020, than I've ever loved myself. But that journey also was full of like ups and downs, heartbreaks, all this stuff, all these things. But it made me to where I am today. I think that's something that people, like when people think of success or they see whatever success means to them, because it could be different for everyone. Everyone who, in my mind, in my opinion, is successful has had to do the inner work, has had to do the mindset work, has had to do self-development, has had to do self-love, has to believe in themselves. They have to have a why. They have to have a purpose bigger than themselves. That's not self-serving. It's not about being famous. It's not about being rich. It's not about being whatever. It's about a purpose. It's about helping and being of service and being valuable and being appreciated for who and what you are. But if you don't become the best version of yourself, then how are you going to give you know, the best version of yourself. And I think I've understood that through tons of failures because I didn't believe in myself. Even in my 20s, if somebody were to say, here's your dream travel show, I don't think it would have been the right time because I wouldn't have had to work for it, B, appreciated it, but I also didn't really believe in my potential, and I didn't believe what I know now. So everything happens, I think, in timing. I don't see failure either the same way as most people do. I think failure is just a lesson, a learning lesson. To me, failure is if you keep doing the same thing and you don't learn the lesson. To me, it's like waste of time, waste of energy. So that's kind of how I see failure. And I'm just like so different than so many people. I mean, I see things in my mind. I'm such a visionary. And people were like, that's crazy. I don't know how you'll do it. You'll never, yada, yada. And I'm like, that's really nice of you. I didn't ask for your opinion. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. So step aside. Another failure that I feel is I used to play small. I used to play small for like my whole life. I was also the biggest people pleaser. Um, and these are things that I wasn't even aware of, that I was consciously aware of. But whenever something great would happen to me, I would always downplay it because I saw it made others feel uncomfortable. And I'm also super sensitive to energy, empath, etc. So if something great happened to me, and I would see how it could make some people feel uncomfortable. So in order for them not to feel uncomfortable, I would just play small. And that is a huge failure. That is so, like, to me, that is like a failure because it's not our jobs to make people feel comfortable. It's our jobs to be our best versions of ourselves. And that was another lesson that I had to learn over and over and over until I was like, I get it.
So one thing, you said that you're a visionary, and I know that you do vision board workshops. So because this is a podcast for people that have goals and dreams and, you know, want to work towards something, how has vision boards affected your life? Why are you such a vision board believer? All that good stuff.
Yeah. And so anyone who has not done a vision board before, it's really just as simple as it sounds. It's just your vision or visions on a board, and it could even be virtual. It can be on your cell phone, computer, etc. The point of a vision board is the reason why so many people, and I've been there before, have not accomplished a goal, whether it's, you know, micro, macro, however big or small, is because they're not crystal clear in what they want. You know, it's like I wanna, I sort of should. I always use this example. If you were to go to a restaurant pre-COVID and sit down and a waiter would come and you would say, I'll just have a burger. And the waiter or waitress will say, sure. Then the waiter or waitress comes back and they bring you a burger. And you're like, oh, you know what? Actually, I wanted it well done, gluten-free bread, cut in half, no onions, yada, yada. And the waiter will say, you didn't say that. You just said you wanted a burger. So the point is, like, people are just, they'll put a goal, they'll be like, yeah, I want to go there. I want to do that. I want a partner. And so they attract whatever, and they're like, but I don't really like that. So they're not crystal clear on what their goals are, and goals in any capacity. So the results are they get the kind of, you know, this general thing. But truth be told, this studio that I'm in right now, that I've been living in for 4 or 5 years, I had roommates my entire life up until I was like 30. And I was like, you know what? The next place I live, I want to live alone. And I wrote it all down. I said, I want to live alone. I want a studio or 1-bedroom apartment, tan exterior, underground garage. I said, no more than $1,500 a month. And I said, in Beverly Hills. And I was so specific. And I remember when I shared with people, they're like, you want to live in Beverly Hills? Beverly Hills is too bougie. Beverly Hills is too expensive. You'll never be able to do it. Again, you hear the, you know, the naysayers, you hear whatever. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to try at least. I'm going to go for it, you know, because at that point I was like starting to believe more in myself and my worth, because I was like, I deserve it. I can do it. So with my one income, my one credit, I went with $20. I made 2 appointments to see apartments, and this is the one. The other one was gone by the time I went to go see it, but this one was still available. I'll never forget the landlord, who's still here to this day. And she was like, okay, well, you're the 21st person to apply, but we'll let you know if we're interested. And I said, done. Here's my $20. Here's my application. You do your credit, whatever you need to do. And then I let it go. And I walked out and I was neutral. I wasn't happy. I wasn't sad. I was like, I'll let it be, whatever it is. Literally, like on that following Monday, it was a Saturday, on Monday, I got a call in the morning from them offering me this place. And I probably, the 20 people who applied probably made double, triple more than I did. Maybe they had better credit. Who knows? But the point is, I did it. And it was literally against all the odds. And literally no one believed in me. They were like laughing. Like, they were like, ha ha. And then I was like, oh, really? Like, here I am. And
it's such a good point of having like a crystal clear goal with details and then working toward it and then letting it go.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, I'm a big believer in vision boards, because I just always go back to, like, I had moved to Glendale, and at that time I was like kind of going through a lot of changes, and I was like, I want to travel. I know that that's what I want to do. And so I bought a big like poster of the world and I put it on my wall, and I literally met Monica like 2 weeks later. And then a week after that, she was like, want to go to Costa Rica? And I was like,
wait,
yes, I do. And like, she was the reason like that I got the opportunity to start traveling, and that like ended up being like what I want to do, like more of my career. But I was just like, I knew it was like this clear cut, I'm just going to buy it. It's going to be on my wall and it's going to happen. And
Is it the one
it happens. That is not, this is a new one.
Okay.
This is a new one.
Oh.
But I had like the whole, like, it was, my parents have it now because they're like, I love this. Can I have it? And I was like, well, fine. So I need another one, but it's like, it was a big map.
So amazing. And I love hearing stories like this. And that is why I started to believe in like what law of attraction, visualization,
manifestation. Yeah.
It started to literally work for me. And then I was like, I watched the documentary again. I read the book. And then in this apartment studio, literally, I created my first vision board 5 years ago, or 4 years ago. I don't remember how long. It's been so long I've been here. And I would say about 75% came true within a year or so.
Wow.
And most of the times, the way things have manifested were better than my vision board. Like, I had, no joke, I use this vision board in all my workshops and speeches. I have a vision board of like super specific things, but like I had Paris, I had New York on there, travel as well. But I had like the Taj Mahal, I had a Louis Vuitton carry-on bag, but it wasn't the Louis Vuitton carry bag that I actually wanted. It was like a traveler with like, I was like, ooh, I love this traveler. Like, I got a Louis Vuitton carry-on bag like that as a gift that year. My siblings put money together and like gave it to me for Christmas, which I never expected, but like literally everything manifested and beyond. And I was
That's
like,
amazing.
This works.
All right. So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, vision boards is not the only way to manifest goals, but it is such an effective tool if you do it consistently and you believe in it and you're clear. I mean, it's so, and you put it somewhere where you can see it every day and you do the visualization, technique.
Because like being specific, so key. And it's something that I'm like trying to work on now, is just being more specific. Because like the burger, I'm just going to use that every single time now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the burger, you want to be very specific about what you want. Yeah.
All right. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I love this because I love the and okay, well, here's a fun fact. In 2 weeks is my birthday. So I will be 34 June 5th, which, by the way, another fun, interesting fact is your birthday, your personal birthday is your personal new year. So everyone's like, June 1st, I'm going to do a vision board. I'm going to do my goals. Cool. But your birthday is your personal New Year. So June 5th is my New Year. So that is when I'm going to do my vision board, like a completely new one. And I feel it's going to be the most effective and powerful because it's my New Year. So in 5 years, when I'm 39, oh my gosh. When I'm 39 in 5 years, I will be living in Europe because that's my dream. Right now it's between France and Italy. I've lived in Italy twice, but I want to live back in Europe. I will have a home or villa in Europe, France, or Italy. I'll be married to an amazing partner. I'll have at least one child. And I will have my travel show, which will already have happened or be happening. Also, I will be working with the United Nations in any capacity, and I will have a scholarship in my alma mater for study abroad for students, because I think education and travel is the best gift you can give anyone. So I want to create a scholarship to give back. It's always about giving back for me. And what else? I will hopefully have traveled to more countries, made an impact for people, and gosh, such a good.
I love the way that you
so
speak
good.
it into existence.
Yes.
You're like, I will have this. I will have this. Where so many of us are like, I hope to have. I would really like to have.
I think I'm gonna do. I think it'll be. I feel like it'll probably like that. It's like, but you're just so like. Again, very specific.
Because these are the, in my opinion, these are the most useless words in anyone's vocabulary. If, probably, try, I'll try to, maybe, probably, if, no, that is already putting your vibration lower. That's casting a doubt. That is just like, you know what I mean? Like everything is just like, absolutely, I will, blah, 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 when I, la, la, la. And that's why like affirmations are also so powerful, is because you put it in the present tense, and your conscious logical mind will, and your ego will always be like, but no, I'm not. But no, but where is it? Where is my partner? Where is my whatever show? Where is my house in France? Where? I don't see it. How is it gonna, like, that is the logical, conscious ego mind. What you work with on vision boards and affirmations is the subconscious mind. In the subconscious mind, many studies have shown that the subconscious mind will believe whatever you tell it. So whether it's reality or fantasy, the subconscious mind will believe it. And we operate a lot on the subconscious mind, but we're not aware. So you'll hear a lot of people who say like negative self-talk, people who say, well, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm whatever. And they actually believe it. And no matter how many times somebody will say, no, you are beautiful, you are amazing, they can say it till they're blue in the face, and they'll be like, nah, you're a liar. And so it is that like pattern of like negative self-talk that replants the seed. So the subconscious is like, all right, yeah, I am this, I am that. But we actually have so much more power to rewire. And that's why I say self-development, self-talk, what you listen to, what you watch on TV, who you hang out with, all that is key to your self-development.
Oh my goodness.
The power of the mind.
Honestly, so much good stuff. I'm like fired up. I want to go do a vision board.
It really is. But honestly, like, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, where can people find you?
Yeah, where can we find, what is it? Jet Set with Jeanette.
Yeah. You can find me on my website, www.jetsetwithjeanette.com.
Jet Set with Jeanette. I feel like you need a song.
We're going to write you a theme song.
With Jeanette.
And my Instagram is at Jet Set with Jeanette, at Jet Set with Jeanette, but it's with 2 N's, everybody. 2 N's.
2 N's, 2 T's.
2 T's.
2 N's, 2 T's. And Facebook, and you guys always can reach out to me. I'm always happy to be of service, help with anything, whether it's travel or I don't know, self-development. You know, I love to help people, and I don't know, I love to see people travel, succeed, be happy. It genuinely like makes me happy. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeanette.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was such an awesome conversation and love hearing all your stories. I feel like you probably have so much more to say that I would like to hear all your stories.
sure.
But definitely check out her stuff, Jet Set with Jeanette, because I'm going to keep saying that. Don't forget to check out our stuff, Stumblin Forward. And we are on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. We're on Spotify. This video is going to be on YouTube, so check that out. Stumblin Forward, everything, Facebook, all that. And I am Kristen Herman. I am one of your hosts. And also,
I'm Monica Ortega.
awesome. And thank you so much again, Jeanette.
Thank you, Jeanette. This was amazing.
Bye, guys.